people have assumed that the intensity of Azadari would decrease with the passage of time, but on the contrary, the opposite has happened. Azadari has survived and is commemorated with more passion each year. In every era, the followers of Imam Hussein have faced numerous difficulties in remembering and mourning their Imam. They have faced torture, harassment, imprisonment, and in many cases even death. Similarly, despite the Imam's unique spiritual and moral status, they were also stopped and punished for remembering the martyrs of Karbala in both the Umayyad and Abbasid eras.
Look, Azadari evolved as the earlier centuries. The Shias were in Taqiyya, the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam could not openly hold majalis for Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So even the early Shias could not hold majalis or gatherings for remembering the grief of Karbala when Ashura came. We do have accounts where the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the Imams, were grieved when Ashura came, or when Muharram started. They would not smile, they would not laugh. They did not laugh, but they wouldn't even smile. But over the time, they could not hold majalis. They were not free to hold majalis in the times of Banu Umayyah, and then later on Bani Abbas did not allow it to happen.
So Azadari was initially established by Bibi Zainab and Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam, and that tradition was followed by Imam Muhammad Baqir and other Imams. And the way they used to do it, they used to, as soon as Muharram used to arrive, they used to start wearing black or express their sorrow and sadness in the tragedy of Karbala, and they used to gather people around. And even they used to pay the poets and orators to compose poems and give lectures about Imam Hussein and read the maqtal, the shahadat of Imam Hussein. And so this sunnah and tradition was established by infallibles and ma'asumeen alayhim salatu wasalam.
Imam Zain al-Abidin was one of the few people who witnessed the massacre at Karbala. He diligently conveyed the details of this tragedy to the followers of the Ahlul Bayt and the generations that succeeded them. Grieving and lamentation for Karbala became an essential part of Imam Zain al-Abidin's life. Imam Zain al-Abidin is famous for grieving for 40 years after Ashura. He was often seen weeping, lost within his haunting memories of Karbala.
Imam Zain al-Abidin, when he arrived in Medina, he used to look for an excuse to explain the tragedy of Karbala. For example, if he used to see an animal is being slaughtered, he would go and ask, "Have you given water to the animal?" They would say yes. And then he would say, "My father was killed without giving water in the plains of Karbala." And then he used to explain the tragedy of Karbala to them.
इमाम ज़ैनुल आबिदीन सलाम ने मुख्तलिफ़ तरीक़े से हत्ता कि उस पानी को वज़ू के लिए जो आया है, वज़ू कर रहे हैं या वज़ू के लिए जैसे ही देखा रोने लगना, रवायात में इस तरह से भी है कि इस कदर रोए हैं कि आपका आंसू इतना ज़्यादा कि वो खुद बहने लगे.
One day his servant, witnessing this, asked Imam Zain al-Abidin, "O son of Rasulullah, when will this grief end?" The Imam replied with tears and recalled the incident of Prophet Yaqub and Prophet Yusuf. He said that although he had 12 sons and temporarily lost one, Prophet Yaqub wept with such intensity that he lost his eyesight. Although Prophet Yaqub knew that Prophet Yusuf was alive and simply missing, Prophet Yaqub couldn't control himself and used to weep a lot. In comparison, Imam Zain al-Abidin had lost his father, brothers, uncles, and cousins, totaling a number of 17 members of his family in one single day. He had witnessed Yazid ibn Muawiyah's forces humiliating the bodies of the Ahlul Bayt, burning the camps, and also witnessed the death of his youngest sister, who died in front of him in Yazid's dark prison. How could this grief end?